Hey y'all, this is Dr. Sasha Rogers and I'm back, y'all. Grown Folks Part 3, the finale. Okay. I hope everybody's gotten something out of it. Now, I asked you guys to drop comments below about things that you felt like I had not covered. And one thing that somebody said was about hysterectomies and menopause. So let's kind of go through. And I think this person was saying that they were like in their 30s and hadn't been to the guy. I mean, in their 50s, had a hysterectomy in their 30s, hadn't been to the gynecologist. Girl, let me get you. Okay, so let's talk a little bit because I know sometimes, I've been hearing like people speak about the recommendations that they get from their gynecologist after they have a hysterectomy, which is just crazy talk to me. So let's talk a little bit about what that means. First and foremost, let me just say this and let me be clear. When you have a hysterectomy, that does not mean you do not have a need to ever see the gynecologist again. I don't know where that came from. I don't know who's passing that along, but that's crazy work, okay? Now, let's talk a little bit about what a hysterectomy actually means, because one size does not fit all with the hysterectomy. People are quick to say, I got a partial hysterectomy. I'm like, okay, so what was left behind? Well, I don't know. It was a partial hysterectomy. Okay, so let's do a little bit of education, because at the end of the day, you shouldn't know. You shouldn't know. This is not what you do for a living. It's what I do for a living. But let me educate you. So, when we have the girly parts, you all have seen the thing in the office where the ovaries are sitting out here, and then you got the fallopian tubes, and then you got the womb, and then you got the cervix, and then you got the vagina under that. You all have seen that little display thing. So when you have a hysterectomy, the only thing that makes it a hysterectomy, the thing that makes it a hysterectomy is that your uterus is removed, your womb. That's what makes it a hysterectomy, okay? Everything else has to be described. So the question is, did they take your ovaries out? Did they take your cervix out? Okay, now always, 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 if anybody has any sense, they're gonna take the fallopian tubes out, because why do you need tubes if you don't have a uterus to grow a baby in? So you don't need tubes. So you should, if you take the uterus, you should be taking the fallopian tubes, as it is a nidus of cancer. When I say a nidus of cancer, it's a source of cancer. Why would you leave a source of something that could cause a cancer that has no use? So generally, when we take the uterus, we're going to take the fallopian tubes always, okay? The question is, do we leave behind the ovaries, and then do we leave behind the cervix? Now, do we leave behind the ovaries? It's really an age thing. Because ovaries, obviously, they do have benefit. People don't understand when it comes to your period, your ovary regulates your period, not your uterus. Your ovaries do, okay? Your ovary, the command center is the ovaries, boo-boo. The only thing that your uterus does is bleed. I tell people, think about it like this. Here's the job of your uterus outside of carrying a baby. Doesn't really have too much else use, right? So every month, your uterus grows a lawn. We call it a lining. But visually, I want you to think about it like this, okay? Your uterus grows a lawn. So every month, it gets larger and larger and larger and larger. If you ovulate, the egg is hit with a sperm and it becomes a baby or becomes an embryo, that gets embedded inside your lawn, and that's where it grows. If you do not get pregnant that month, it bleeds off, and that's your period. Got it? So every month, your uterus is going to build up a lawn. If it grows a pregnancy, great. If it doesn't, it bleeds off as your period. All right. And so that's when a lot of times, that's how like IUDs and birth control pills work. You ain't having no period. That stuff getting backed up in you. No, it's not. What's actually happening is, depending on like the IUD or the pill or depot or whatever it is you have, is preventing you from building your lawn. So if you don't have a lawn, you don't have anything to bleed off. And that's why you don't have a period. Now, if you're not on any hormones, you're not on anything, you're not doing a thing, and you're not having a period, that's problematic. But this is why when we have birth control and different things like that, it stops our period because it prevents our lining from building up. Does that make sense? So the point is that, and I digress. I just always like to explain that to people so you actually understand how periods work. But anyway, so I digress. Do we leave the ovaries or do we keep the ovaries? And it really does depend. If the ovaries look good, you don't have a history of ovarian cysts, you don't currently have any ovarian cysts, if you are generally going to be around 40-ish or younger, sometimes, because the average age of menopause is 51. So maybe like around 45 or younger, and we've never had any problems with those ovaries, girl, we keeping those ovaries. We need those ovaries, okay? Now, at the end of the day, I don't care whether you have your uterus or not. People like, after I had my hysterectomy, they left my ovaries, but I went through menopause. Unless there was something that weirdly, a blood supply that got cut off or something like that in the operating room. No, ma'am. The ovaries control the menstrual cycle and whether, we're menopausal and all that good stuff, okay? So do we have our ovaries? That's one thing. So, and then the other thing is, do we have our cervix? And how do you decide? One, it's a personal choice, whether you have your cervix or not. But if you've had abnormal pap smears, biopsies, and different things like that, I'll tell my patients, girl, get it out, because cervical issues are not fun, especially in light of a hysterectomy. So just take it out. If we've ever had any issues with the cervix, it needs to just go. Back in the day, it was thought that sex would be different for women if they got rid of their cervix. And we know that that is not true. Your G-spot is not in your cervix, it's in your vagina. It is absolutely not true now. Sometimes depending on how your hysterectomy is done, you can have some dropping of the actual vagina itself after some years with cervical removal. But even without cervical removal, you could still have a drop in the vagina with your cervix still in place. So what is the benefit to keeping the cervix? There's generally not found to be any. But it's a personal choice. Some people still hold on to the old school thinking. It is your cervix, boo-boo. We ain't gonna grapple over the cervix. If you want it, you can have it. I ain't finna do nothing major with it anyway. I don't know what y'all think we do with these body parts, but they are definitely disposed of sometime before the end of the operating room case, all right? It makes its way to the trash can sometime before you make your way to recovery. So we don't do anything real weird with it, but if you want it, it's yours. But my recommendation usually, if you've had a problem in the past or you don't have a real reason for keeping it, don't keep it. Now, GYN exams after hysterectomy. First of all, I need y'all to understand that whether you have all this 3-year, 5-year, I don't abide by that, y'all. My patients get annual. I don't care how you get an annual exam, because you can literally go from normal to cervical cancer in 3 years. So all this, don't come for 3 years, don't come for 5 years. Baby, do you know how much an actual pap smear costs? So first of all, let me say this. As a woman, you should be coming to the gynecologist annually, once a year, because cervical cancer is not the only cancer you can get. Even if you had a hysterectomy and you still have your ovaries, well, what if they're enlarging? You're not going to know. You're not going to feel it unless you go to the gynecologist and somebody says, it feels kind of bulky in there. Let's get you for an ultrasound. How will you know if the skin on your labia, i.e. the vulva, is looking normal, or there's a growth, or there's something that the gynecologist is like, yeah, I don't like the way this looks. Let's biopsy this. Or even looking inside the vagina, because if you had a hysterectomy for precancerous reasons, if that is going to recur, it's going to recur at that vaginal cuff where that cervix was removed. So you still need evaluation. Even if you don't necessarily need a cancer screening, you still need evaluation. So people are like, well, I don't need a pap smear, so then you just don't come to the gynecologist. Make it make sense. That don't make no sense. I'm confused. Who told you that because you didn't have a uterus, you don't need to be seen? Low key, I ain't gonna call you trifling, because you're not doing it because you want to be trifling. You're just doing it because somebody done told you some nonsense that led to trifling behavior. So not calling you personally trifling, but the behavior, trifling. Now, you need to be seeing a gynecologist every year. See what is going on in there, ladies. All right. Now, as far as, again, menopause and a hysterectomy, menopause doesn't cause a hysterectomy unless you've had your ovaries removed. Does that make sense? So if your ovaries are moved, and baby, you're going to know, because as soon as you wake up from that surgery, you catch a hot flash from hell. You are hot. You are, a lot of times, I would start my patients with hormone replacement before the surgery, maybe like a week or two before the surgery, but certainly you are starting that hormone replacement day 1 or day 2 after that surgery. That girl is rough. Meno comes at you real bad, real fast. Like y'all go together real bad. But if that wasn't the case, that wasn't the scenario, and you still believe you have your ovaries, and you don't need one, you don't need both ovaries. Even if you have one, people think, well, I only have one ovary, so I'm somehow, I have less hormone. It doesn't work like that. You could literally have a piece of an ovary and you still good, and you won't be menopausal until it's actually your time to be menopausal. So I hope that cleared it up. So it's the ovary that governs the whole hormonal menopausal thing, not the uterus. You only need a piece of an ovary, even if it's just a little piece. You don't need both. You're not halfway menopausal because you only have one ovary. Definitely doesn't work like that, okay? So I hope that cleared it up. The only thing that a hysterectomy is going to stop is your period, is your bleeding. That's the only thing that is going to stop. Okay, so let's be very clear about that. Now, this video, as promised, girlies, we're going to talk about sex, relationship, marriage, menopause, perimenopause. Girl, where do we go from here? Because we still fly, we still fine, we still the rich aunties, we still sexy, we still all of these things. But honey, sometimes the girl downstairs is just like, pack it up, put a sweatshirt on me, give me a blanket, and retire me from this place. Because touch who? Touch what? Do what? And so, and that's okay. That's okay. It's not like we're doing anything wrong. It's the life cycle. But at the end of the day, I think 50 now and 50 years ago was quite different, honey. By the time they were 50 back in the day, they had their 5 or 6 kids, honey. That doctor, that male gynecologist had went on in and did their hysterectomy. They ain't had to worry about periods or anything anymore. Honey, they were just, menopause was up on them. And that was just it. And that's why they called it the change of life, and they just dealt with it. But now we're doing different stuff, honey. 50, we're traveling. We are getting married for the first time. We are getting kids out of the house, graduating kids from law school and medical school, and ready to live our own lives. And now it's like, wonk, wonk. So we have to account for that. Also, you know, I have had so many women come into my office basically like, yeah, I gave him permission to have a girlfriend because I can't do it. Ladies, we're not doing that. Now, if you give him permission to have a girlfriend, that's your business. Y'all handle that at the house. You don't want to be bothered with him. You don't want him to touch you. That's your business. Handle it at the house. We listen. We don't judge. But if the only reason, and it drives you bananas, that you're seeing your man with somebody else because you feel like it's something that you can't do, no, sis, let's go ahead on and get that fixed. First and foremost, you know, a lot of times, and I'm not saying this is anybody's husband in particular, but be very mindful because a lot of times, we talked about andropause, we talked about male menopause. They go through their stuff too. They have emotional stuff. They gain weight. Their estrogen levels go up, their erections don't get as hard. And a lot of times this is a lot for them to deal with too, because they are late 40s, early 50s, and they're starting to not be the man anymore. They can't go that 2 hours that they used to go anymore, and blah, 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 blah. They're, you know, they're not getting rock hard the way they used to. And a lot of times they don't know why. They don't, you know, male menopause is a new concept for them anyway. And for a lot of us too. Say they don't know why. So a lot of gaslighting tends to come with it. Oh, you know, you gained all that weight. You know, your stomach all big. You know, it's a million reasons why. A lot of it is gaslighting. So it's important that you kind of understand his mindset, and that, you know, some of it is his stuff. Not all of it is your stuff. But as far as we're concerned, we talked about the treatments. Again, when it comes to libido, when it comes to making the vagina a little wetter, estrogen creams will do that, right? But gets all difficult because we got estrogen cream in the vagina. You can't have sex the same night. So then you kind of plan your sex around when you put the cream in the vagina, because you don't want your man to get estrogenized, because then that's just going to make everything that much worse. So it just gets to be a little bit messy as far as trying to plan out the sex, trying to fix the vaginal lubrication, and it doesn't help your libido any. And then when you go with conventional medicine and you're like, well, I just don't want to have sex no more. Then they want to give you an antidepressant. Sis, did you hear me? I'm not depressed. I just don't want to have sex. I want to have sex, but I don't want to have sex. I ain't say I was depressed. Not being able to have sex when I want to have sex is what's depressing me. And so, like I said, conventional hormone replacement a lot of times doesn't have anything for you. I know how I feel. We went over the whole thing with bioidentical. That's going to fix all that. It's going to fix all that. You're going to be in this, you're going to be outside. Okay. You're going to be the middle-aged thought. You're going to be the cougar thought. I'm just telling you, but I gave you guys the information about it. Do that. But, there are steps. And like I said, once you understand that it's nothing that you're doing wrong, nothing is wrong with you, you're not subpar, you're not less of a woman, you're not going through anything. It's life, sis. It is life, and life be life. And it's like, okay, let's fix what we can fix and let's control what we can control. So I'm always going to recommend the bioidentical hormone replacement, because that's going to help you from the inside out. I don't know how long you're going to have to take it. Everybody is different. The whole kind of peri and menopausal syndrome lasts for about 15 or 20 years. Again, I'm a bioidentical hormone lover. I think it has amazing benefits, as I said. And it just fixes all the problems. It helps with the wetness. It helps with the libido. It just helps with everything. So I'm a lover of that. But again, if that's not your jam and that's not what you feel like you want to do, baby girl, let's put you together piece by piece. Okay. So, if that's a situation that we're in, first of all, I think it's amazing to be able to have open communication with your partner and be able to be like, so, y'all go through menopause too. That's not a real constructive way to deal with it. Because, when you get them on the defense, it's problematic. They shut you down. They're not trying to hear what you're saying. But I think that it's constructive to be like, yeah, this menopause thing is very interesting. It does this, it does that, it does this, that, and the third. But there are some ways I can get around it and blah, 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 blah. So you might actually talk them into paying for your stuff, first of all. But outside of that, just be very open. And when it comes to vaginal stuff, if we're just talking about sex, like I said, hygiene is important. We talked about that. Hydration is very important. Please don't get roped into this. I'm gonna drink some pineapple juice so my cootie cat can smell like pineapple. No, don't. That's not a real thing, y'all. It's not a real thing. We talked about and we're gonna go over hygiene again, because I talked about that previously on another podcast and you guys ate it up. So I want to go over the basics of that. But the most important thing is to make sex comfortable for you. When you're comfortable and you want it because you're comfortable, then it's going to be a beautiful experience for you and him. So again, the lubricant. I will say it again. I will say it 100 times over. Officially Pleasured XO. They had lost their Instagram page. Their CEO reached out to me and they had lost their Instagram page. I was wondering why I was having a hard time with it. But either way, their website is officiallypleasured.com and their Instagram is officiallypleasuredxo. Baby, that wet kitty, get you some. You won't have to worry about uncomfortable sex. You won't have to worry about any burning of lubrication, any itching of lubrication. It does not cause vaginitis. It does not dry up. It does not get sticky. It comes with a dropper. You can fill the dropper up 1 time, 2 times, put it inside the vagina. It'll stay overnight. It'll stay till morning. It'll stay until you wash it off. It is odorless, colorless, tasteless. It mimics the vaginal fluid. Nobody would know that you were wearing it. They would think that it was all naturally you. And that's going to be a turn on for your partner, which is subsequently going to be a turn on for you. Okay? Be patient with yourself and give yourself grace when it comes with this thing. Okay? Also, if your body appearance is something that is bothering you or making it difficult, when it comes to sex, like I got all this stomach. I know he don't want me, girl. If you got somebody and they worried about your stomach, they don't like you no way. They just don't, because they don't care. Baby, you can be toothless with 3 stomachs, one up top, one up top, one on the side, and one on the bottom. They don't care. They lift up your stomach and handle their business. If that is the problem, he don't like you, sis, and find somebody who do. Okay. Again, if somebody is making it that your weight is an issue by the time you this big grown age, that's gaslighting. So don't let anybody put you in that place. But if you personally are in a space where I don't like this, I don't like the way this looks, find outfits or find things that you can put on that will make you feel confident. You know what I mean? If your stomach is a thing, find a teddy or something that's going to cover your stomach, that's going to be black, that your partner may be, you know, that you may feel like your partner is going to be attracted to, that you can maybe move to the side or something like that, that you can keep on. But at the same time, you're covered in a way that you're confident. It is about your confidence. That is one of the most beautiful things about this stage in life that a young girl could never. And why is that? You walk with confidence. You walk with grace. You walk with a sense of, and I said what I said, type of mentality. And men are attracted to that. That's why these young males, these young men are very attracted to us, because we just walk with that confidence, that grace, and it is what it is. So please don't diminish that, and walk with that, sis. Lead with that, okay? As far as your vagina, it's one of those, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. The vagina is a muscle just like anything else. The more you use it, the more comfortable you're gonna be with it. But I wanna touch on something that is very near and dear to my heart, because as far as making sex comfortable, boom, that's wet kitty. Those are your hormone pellets that's going to make you climb the roof. If you don't necessarily want to do the bioidentical hormones, again, I can offer, there is a tea house in Atlanta, and they say one of their teas works for libido. I don't know. They market it as such. They sell it as such. I don't even know the name of the tea house. I probably should have. But anyway, it's at Camp Creek and Butner Road. It's a tea house. Don't know them people. They don't know me. Again, I'm not doing paid stuff. I'm just doing what works. And so they market that they have a libido tea, if that's where you want to be. And then the lubricant, and rock out, sis. Do what you can do what you need to do. But I do want to talk about the importance, or what needs to be important. Like I said, this stage in life, either you are living your best life with your partner, you are in a relationship, situationship, some understanding ship, some kind of ship that you in with somebody that you don't really want to sink right now. You are coming back outside. You may be divorced, you may be widowed, or you may just be coming outside, period. You got these kids from up under you. You got your money now. You got your house back. You ready to be outside. You ready to be a thought. You ain't got to answer nobody's questions. You ain't got to defend your behavior to nobody. But it is something that I want you guys to take very seriously. This age group is probably the highest age group. I don't know, because I don't know. I haven't actually looked at the statistics of age in the last 2 years. I got to review that. But we're one of the highest age groups in contracting HIV. Why? Because we're in a space of, child, we did that. Child, we did that when we were young. Child, we ain't that. Child, we grown. Child, we ain't got that. We ain't got. You don't know. You don't know people's past. You don't know where they've been. You don't know what they've been exposed to. You don't know how they live their life. You don't. Now, if this person was actually honest and said, yeah, the last 50 women I had sex with, I hit it raw. Would you run and hit them raw? Wouldn't you want some information? Okay, so don't assume that the information that you get is fully accurate. 8 to 80, cripple or crazy, I don't care. You come in my building, I'm testing you for all the things: hepatitis B, C, HIV, syphilis, and herpes. You're getting the trifecta unless you say, don't test me for that, doc. And then I'm going to document it. Because what you're not going to do is come back and say, you should have tested me. You ain't doing that. I'm documenting the fact that you told me not to test you, because I'm testing everybody for everything. And you need to be asking, not, was you tested? When's the last time? You need to see paperwork. It should be a red flag to you if there is somebody who is new to you and they will have unprotected sex with you, and they don't have any questions. It's not a flex, sis. It's not that he trusts you. It's not that he thinks you clean. That's his behavior. That's his MO. And if he did it to you, he's done it to other women before you. That is a red flag. He should have as many questions about you as you have about him. He should be trying to stay as healthy and safe with you as you trying to stay with him. Does that make sense? So it's not about trust. I tell women all the time, it's not about trust. He's probably very trustworthy. He's probably very trustworthy, but what he is human. And we all make mistakes. All right. So let me give y'all a scenario that I give my people when they come into my office when I'm trying to, and it's not even about, because I tell, if you're married, you need to be seeing your partner's testing. And this is no offense to anybody. This is the scenario I give, right? So I'm always like, and I do one for males and females. So you can truly see how life just happens, right? So let's say as a female, you never, you're in a relationship or you're married, newly married, whatever it is, you're not outside and you haven't been outside, but it's your homegirl's birthday. And she's like, you never come out with us anymore. You all booed up. You don't come out. You're like, all right, I'm coming out. So you done already cleared it with your person. I'm going to the club tonight, right? It's such and such's birthday. So of course, what do y'all do? Y'all have sex before you go to the club because your partner be trying to keep this up on your mind. So you have sex before you go to the club. Okay, cool. Now you done got dressed. Your partner's like, all right, I'm here. I'm chilling. Got any problems? Just call. Cool. So now y'all out. Obviously you coming in at a respectful time, but y'all are out having a good time. So y'all get to this club. So all of a sudden you hear Tamika from across the room. And you look, and this is the boy who you were cool with in high school, but nothing really went down. He was the basketball star. Now he played for the Hawks. Is that the basketball team? The Falcons, the Hawks, whatever. So now he played for the Hawks. He's like, come over here. I got a section. So your friend's like, oh, girl, you know him? And you like, yeah, girl. So now y'all over in his section. Y'all drinking, enjoying yourselves. And he like, you look good. What you up to? Blah, 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 to talk. I can't hear you. Let's go out to the car. So you like, I'm going out to the car and just talk to him, girl. All right, girl, you got your phone? Y'all know how we do. So now, yes, honey, I could be a playwright. So now you don't go out, you go out to the club with him. And he like, you look so good. Oh my God, I used to be feeling you in high school, but I was too scared to say something. All the BS they say, right? Okay, good. So he like, here, take this. No, I can't take that. No, you look so good. It ain't about nothing. Buy yourself a new bag or, some shoes or something like that. Just take it. So now y'all sitting in the back of his G-Wagon, right? Y'all talking, chopping it up, this, that, and the third. The flirting starts, right? But you're not thinking anything of it. He go down on you in the back of the car. Okay. He come up, boom, put it in. Raw, just put it in. Before you can be like, stop, bam, it's over. So now you like, oh my God, what just happened? Okay. So now you taking a walk of shame back in, and his attitude is, you got a pocket full of money for your troubles. It was fun. It was good seeing you again. Not even anything malicious, but it was good seeing you again. You look great. Tamika, that's what's up. Take my number. Hit me up if you ever want to come to a game or something. Your face is straight because you came out the house of Proverbs 31 woman. You going home sexy red. I'm just saying. Are you a bad person? No. Are you not trustworthy? No. You're a victim of circumstance because a circumstance happened. Now, let's add an extra twist on it there that makes it extra, extra, extra sexy red. You had sex with your man before you left, didn't you? Now, this is the second person. Ooh, let's pray you're not ovulating. Messy, right? That went from 0 to 100 in less than 2 hours. 3 hours, however many hours. It went from 0 to 100 in one evening. You see? You're not a hoe. You're a victim of circumstance. Even for a male, your man love you. He's at work working overtime, right? He working an extra night shift. So the girl at the office, he don't even know her name. He ain't paying her no mind. But she all up on him. So they gave, back in the day, I used to get awards for my blowjobs. He like, oh, okay. She like, want to see? Now, if we know human beings, especially the male persuasion, he gonna be like, what you mean? A conversation gonna ensue. They might be in the bathroom stall. He getting a blowjob. It is what it is. If a condom is present, he might use it, but might not. And it's gonna be what it's gonna be. He hit the girl, okay? He done had sex with the girl, raw, no condom was present. He don't even know the girl name. He ain't stunned about her. He don't care about her, but he still did what he did. You think he'll come home and tell? He ain't fitting to lose his relationship, his situationship, his woman, his wife. He not fitting to lose you over somebody whose name he don't even know. But now it's a whole different circumstance, because now it's a whole different risk factor involved, right? It's not that he's not trustworthy. It's not that he does not love you. It's not that he's problematic. He's a victim of circumstance because he's a human being and he made a mistake. So to me, when I think testing, these are the situations that run in my mind. It's not about your man being a hoe or your man's not trustworthy or he's on a couch all the time. He ain't on a couch all the time, sis. He's on a couch all the time. I know where he is all the time. It's not about that, because you're making testing about trust. And that is why African-American women are 12% of the population and we're 70% of the new HIV cases. Let me spin that back. 12% of the population, 70% of the new HIV cases. Okay? So let's be very clear. Everybody's man ain't not trustworthy. Everybody's man ain't a hoe, but things happen. All right? So I need you guys to get into a headspace of not feeling like you're too old to experience certain things, or you're too mature, or we're past all that, or we just seeing each other. One, the only person's actions that you can be responsible for and that you can absolutely confirm are your own. And two, if nobody's doing anything, if we're past that, if we're completely trustworthy, we're what's the problem getting tested? Now, another thing I want to put out here for y'all that, you know, this particular age group, the sisses, the aunties may not know about is, do you guys realize that there is an at-home HIV test? Takes about 15 or 20 minutes. I'm sure they sell them at the local stores, you know what they are, the CVS's, the Walgreens, all the things. They're probably about $40. They're about $40 the last time I inquired about them, but they're like $40. I always make sure I know. I make sure I, you know, keep you guys updated on this information. And the way that it works is it's like a swab. So 2 swabs come in a box. And it might be 2 boxes for the $40. I'm not sure. But either way, 2 swabs come in a pack. So you swab your jaw, he swabs his jaw, and then you put a couple of drops of the solution on the swab. Within 15 to 20 minutes, if it turns blue, somebody has HIV. Now, if you weren't able to get the testing, if this is a jump off, if it is a dollar holla, meaning, you know, you done just got drunk, honey, and this just happened, or, you know, it is a one night stand, or whatever the case may be, and you weren't able to put all this preparation as far as seeing their testing and all that good stuff, and they're like, well, I don't have it on me. This is an amazing way to be like, run me your jaw. Let me just swab right here. Let me swab it. By the time you finish foreplay, honey, before it's time to get anything started cracking or popping, you already know what's going on with the person and they know what's going on with you. Now, I'm not saying that's an excuse to have raw sex, because it ain't. But a little bit of reassurance that at that very moment, that person is coming back negative for HIV. Okay? So that's another little pearl. That's another little trick. Now, let's talk about protection, like not just condoms. We over the condoms. We know that you should be using those. You decide not to use them. That's a personal choice. You grown. But we say, you know, people think, oh, I can't get pregnant, as if that's only used for a condom. Okay, do you, sis? But we recommend that. But so let's talk a little bit about getting deeper into protection. Did you guys know that there is medication out that prevents HIV? You probably didn't, because they market it to everybody but Black women, and that drives me absolutely bananas, okay? But there are 2 different types. There's pills and there's injections. So let's talk a little bit about the pills first. The pills came along first. PrEP versus PEP. PrEP means pre-exposure prophylaxis, meaning before you're ever exposed. PEP means I have potentially been exposed and I want to try and jump on the bandwagon. So with PrEP, it is a pill that, well, PrEP encompasses a lot of things, but the pill version, you take it once a day. And it prevents you from contracting HIV if you have sex with somebody who has HIV. How does it work? The way that it works is after, let's say you have sex with unprotected sex with somebody who has HIV, right? And after 72 hours, the HIV virus starts to replicate in your body. So what the medication does is if you're constantly on the medication, it will, no matter what, whether you constantly, anyway, we'll get to that. But what the medication does is it prevents HIV from making copies in your body. Okay, so it's not a vaccine. People are like, oh, it introduces HIV. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. And don't make me snatch your nose off in the comments, because I will snatch that thing right off. That's how vaccines work. That is not how this medication works. It's what we call a reverse transcriptase inhibitor. Long word for saying it prevents HIV from making copies in your body. So that is, if you're on PrEP, you do not have to worry about that if you're consistently taking your PrEP. Now, and that means every day, once a day, and it is 98+% effective. Got it? Got it. Now, there is a PEP, which is post-exposure. Post-exposure means within 72 hours of having an exposure, meaning unprotected sex. That means either you had sex with somebody willingly unprotected and you don't know their status. You had sex with somebody, the condom broke, and you don't know their status. You had, a sexual assault. Whatever the case may be, within those 72 hours, I only tell them 48 hours, because I want them, the sooner you get it in, the better it's going to work. I don't want you to be nowhere near that 72 hours. I tell my people 48 hours, but it's really within 72 hours. And you take it for 30 days and you have that same protection. Now, people say, well, why would I take PrEP every single solitary day when I could just take PEP? Well, PEP is for episodes. Like if you had an episode of this or episode of that, maybe you don't have sex all the time. Maybe you don't have unprotected sex all the time. Maybe this is just something that happened. It's an episodic thing. PrEP is, I'm in a sexual relationship. I don't know what he does. He plays football. He raps. He is a businessman all over the place. He is an oil tycoon. I don't know what he does, but we're in a regular sexual relationship. So you want to maintain that protection. There's also different ways in which if you're getting flued out, let's say you're getting flued out, sis. He like, come on through, you can spend the weekend with me. And you like, oh, I'm not even on this medication, but I don't want, what I'm going to do? It's like I think it's like a 422. I think it's called 422. Anyway, it's been so freaking long since we talked about the pills, because we always talk about the shot. But anyway, we'll get to the shot. So it's like a 422. So you take 4, then 24 hours later you take 2, then 24 hours later you take another 2. You'll have that same protection. But I still tell my people, if that's what you're going to do, take your 422, and then when you finish with your weekend, bust down with that PEP for 30 days after that, just to be extra sure. Extra sure. Okay? Now, we have an injection as well. It's called Apretude. I'm actually in love with the ease of Apretude. And it's an injection. It's like the Depo shot. It goes like in your butt cheek, and it's a big arse needle. That needle big. But it is once every 2 months you get the shot, and the protection is 99% plus. Every time you get a re-up, so like even with the pills, we only give you a 3-month supply at a time. So every 3 months, before you get your next prescription refill, you have to have an HIV test, because you have to be HIV negative on these medications. Okay, so you come in for your blood draw every 3 months, boom, you get your pills. Or if you're on Apretude, you come in, you get your shot every 2 months. Every time before I give you your shot, boom, I draw your blood to make sure we're HIV negative. Okay, the only, or one of the major downsides, I can't say the only, sometimes people might get like flu-like symptoms, like the first or second time they get the shot, or one of the major side effects that I do hear about is injection site soreness, and it's real. Like, it's not like, ooh, my booty sore. It's like, ouch, I can't sit on that side type of sore. People say it usually resolves after about a week or so, but it's there, it's real. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, but I look at it like this: beats the hell out the alternative. I'm just saying, there are people in the world living very healthy with HIV, but that is not something you want to put on your plate if it's something that you can avoid. And I do not want you to think because you're in this age group, it cannot, will not, and just does not happen, because it does. It does, okay? And after getting so many things off your plate, after liberating yourself, after getting to a space where you're comfortable with who you are as a woman, living your best life, baby, you don't want to then add a heap full of helping of foolishness on top of that, okay? So it is out here, and I want to let you guys know that and let me tell you something. I am an encourager of thought behavior, but it has to be thought behavior in the smart way. And I tell my young patients, let me prevent the two things I can't control. Let me prevent HIV and let me prevent pregnancy. If you let me protect you from those things, baby, thought out, have a good time as long as you're safe. As long as you're safe and as long as you're smart. Enjoy yourself. Sex is healthy and it actually prolongs your life and it actually wards off dementia as well. So, sex is a very healthy thing, but in this day and age, baby, you got to do it the right way. You got to make sure you get your information. You can't trust anybody, anything for anything. And it's not about trust, because a lot of times they're like, I ain't got nothing. Oh, no, I'm HIV negative. So you're taking their HIV negative to mean they know that they're negative. They're telling you they're HIV negative because in their mind they ain't got nothing, but they ain't been tested ever. And it's like, I feel like once you get to a point in life and you know better, like the people who are around you, who love you, who would have to, deal with your hurt or deal with the trauma of you going through this or take care of you or pay for your meds, like, I just feel like they deserve more than that. Like, they deserve more respect than that. At least you can do is respect yourself enough to be like, run me these numbers and consistently run me these numbers. Not, oh, I got the information when we first got into a relationship. Girl, no, you need that every 6 months, every once a year. Run those numbers. And again, if it's all on the up and up, then it's on the up and up, and we both feel better, and it is what it is, right? Okay, so there you go. So that's one of the things that people don't tend to think about, getting back into the sex arena, especially, like I said, when you do bioidenticals, honey, and you come outside and you are wanting, now I don't know if you have the ability, capability, or the personnel to be able to have sex the 2 or 3 times a day that you want to have sex. But when that becomes a thing, I don't want you guys to be like, woohoo, I'm back. And then just think that you in Mr. Rogers' neighborhood and that, it's not stuff out there waiting for you, the big bad wolf. And people are malicious, and people will know that they have certain things, that they're affected and infected with certain things, and their attitude. I'm sure you guys have seen some of these videos on Instagram. Their attitude is, your safety, your protection is not my responsibility. If you don't ask me the questions, if you don't ask to see my testing, if you don't do your due diligence, that's your problem. And low key it is, because I think somewhere along the line, and maybe this used to happen back in the day, but it doesn't anymore. People used to feel like, oh, if you know you got HIV and you have sex with me, you going to jail. They're not. They're not. They're not. They're not. That is their personal medical information. They did not withhold it from you. Now, again, let's say, you ask and that person's like, no, I'm good. Well, did you ask to see proof? Did you ask to see any? So how you gonna say, now it's a whole different situation. Now be careful too, because I'm trying to put y'all on game, because I know, like I said, y'all might have been inside for a long time. You might not have been outside. This My Chart thing. Y'all know people selling fake My Chart results. So if somebody's like, no, I'm up on My Chart, and all they send you is a screenshot and all, player, let me see you log in. Log in. I want to see what's going on. I want to see what those results look like. I want to see how many times you've been to the doc. Make them log in, baby. Don't take that screenshot, because I don't know who out here is selling the negative HIV results. They changing the name up on it. No, it's a whole hustle for somebody. I'm not knocking somebody's, side hustle. That's not my business. But what I am saying is trying to keep you guys healthy and let you know all the things that are going on out there, okay? So protecting yourself from HIV is a major thing. It is very easy. It doesn't have to be a major undertaking. Either you come for the shot, you get the pills, make sure you keep an at-home HIV test just in case something goes down. I know you done grew up with him. There's Larry, who you grew up with. He been, coming to your family fish fry for 30 years. You don't know what Larry did, when he was locked up for them 6 months or 6 years. You don't know what Larry be doing in these streets. You don't know if Larry's out here, you don't know. So let's not guess. Let's not because that stigmatizes each other. Oh, he looks like he's okay. What does that mean? HIV doesn't have a look. Herpes doesn't have a look. None of this, it doesn't have a look. So what do you mean? Like, oh, he looks like he's good, or I don't think he have anything, or, he ain't like that. I hear all these things and I just be wondering, like, you see in a cartoon with a steam be coming out of somebody's head. I'll be trying to keep it cute though and just kind of like break it down to people like this. Like, what does that even mean? So just don't get into that super comfortable space with anybody when it comes to having sex. Also, something, guys, that I want you to be aware of, and this is for everybody, and it's not just for single people or people who are coming outside. This could be for you and your homegirl who just coming out for the night. Y'all are married, y'all are, or whatever it is, and y'all are just coming out to enjoy yourselves together. Y'all ain't looking to meet nobody. You just looking to socialize. Be very careful, because before it's like, oh, don't leave your drink, this, that, and the third. Well, now, honey, the bartenders are putting the drugs in the drinks. So just be very careful. If somebody says, can I buy you a drink? Or whatever the case may be, you don't know what kind of hookup they have with the bartender. If you can't see that drink being made, stop being greedy, stop being cheap, stop trying to get something for nothing. Say, no, thank you, I'm okay. I've had my limit for the evening, because I have seen some really rough things come into the office, and I'm like, wait, what happened? And a lot of things they don't want to say because they feel like they don't want to be exposed because of their actual situation when they've done nothing wrong. Something wrong was done to them, but they don't want their partners to know. So please just be very, 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 very careful. Physically, we can fix that as far as sex is concerned. Like I said, the bioidentical hormones, baby, you get your lubricant. Oh, and condoms. Okay, so first things first, never, ever, ever, never, ever, 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 ever wear a lambskin condom. Okay, ever, ever, ever. Why? The word is in it, lambskin. So just like your skin has pores, like little holes, there's pores in lambskin condoms. Well, the size of the pore, the little hole, is larger than the size of the HIV virus. So yes, you can still contract HIV with lambskin condoms. So don't ever use those. The condoms that I recommend are B condoms. It's the letter B condoms. Follow them on Instagram. They're like, their content is so risque. It's so funny though, but it's so accurate and on target though. I love it. And then I know you can get them at like some stores, you just Google it. I'm not about to put the stores out there, but just Google it. But it's B condoms, and they have extra larges. I ain't even gonna get into that, but they have extra larges if that's something that is required. But the lubricant will not cause a vaginitis. It is not Naloxone 9. The Naloxone 9 is a lubricant that is on most of your standard condom brands. And a lot of people are very irritated by it. Sometimes it can make your vagina feel swollen or itchy or burning, or just make you feel like it just done been through all hell after you use a condom. So a lot of times people be like, well, I'm allergic to latex. It's the lubricant. And the crazy part is the lubricant can actually make it easier to contract HIV if that condom breaks. So we don't want to do that. So for all intents and purposes, I'm always pushing B condoms, okay? So it is a major deal in making sure you have all your accoutrements. Also, we got to start using this technology, ladies. When you out here, make sure your location, I don't even know what it's called. I'm talking about you all using technology. I don't even know what it's called, but your locator. Make sure your location settings is on your phone. So like to find my friend, make sure it's on so that your friend can kind of pinpoint exactly where you are. If you are not where you're supposed to be, you don't answer that phone, you don't pick up on that signal that y'all had or whatever the case may be, so that they can be able to locate you. I'm for safety always, baby, on the inside sole of them shoes, them sneakers or whatever it is you wear. Now, if you got on them little Fashion Nova shoes or them little Temu shoe, don't tear up your sole because the whole shoe gonna fall a damn part. But put it on the inside of the lining of your pocketbook or the lining of your shoe or sneaker. One of my patients, this was the funniest thing. This is when I started suggesting this to people. She went on vacation. She put an air tag inside of her lace front braids or whatever it is she had going on. But baby, she had her air tag inside her hair. So that's why I'm like, don't put it somewhere somebody can find it, or like your key ring. No, put it inside your shoe. Put it inside the lining of your coat, put it inside your wig, whatever the case may be. You always want to make sure that you are staying safe and you are playing safe, especially if it's new people, especially if you're going out and you're being social, you're new to the social scene, you're new to people who you're going out with. You're in a different city, in a different state, whatever it is, safety is so paramount. And please, let's just, like I said, when we were going out in the salt and pepper era and, you know, the MC Light era and the Foxy Brown era and all that, Biggest Smalls, we went, we had a good time. All these things we didn't have to think about. We had different things to think about. As long as you ain't leave your drink, baby, that was all you had to worry about for the night. But it's different now. And so I try and kind of bring these things to the forefront so you can have your best life, live your best life, do your stellar thing, but not fall victim or not fall prey to what life is now outside. Okay, guys? So I think that was most of what I wanted to get out there. I hope I did not leave anything out. And so just again, about your safety, about HIV prevention, about the question about the hysterectomy, and please make sure y'all are going for y'all exams. Don't let nobody beat y'all out of y'all health. Don't nobody think because you ain't got no uterus, you don't need to see the gynecologist. I don't know what kind of dirty work or voodoo work that is, baby. If you don't get to somebody's doctor quickly, I know something. So I hope we touched on all the things, and I hope this series really gave you guys what you needed, because you always DM me or ask me questions about perimenopause, menopause, all the things. And I really hope this touched on every single thing, every question or curiosity that you could have had. I pray that this helped and blessed somebody. And this is the finale. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. And again, I do see all of y'all well wishes and the hugs that you all are sending. And I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart.